CBC News has learned new details about a Liberal closed-door caucus today. Jane Philpott, who resigned from the Prime Minister's cabinet earlier this month, addressed the group, and she faced some tough questions. The CBC's Katie Simpson is here with the latest. Katie, what have you learned?
Well, from sources that CBC News, multiple reporters in our newsroom have been speaking with, it sounds like it was a very uncomfortable meeting this morning. What CBC News can confirm through multiple sources is that when Ontario Liberal MPs met for their weekly meeting this morning, Jane Philpott, who was there, was really the focus of attention of that meeting, and she faced a series of difficult questions about her actions. She, of course, very publicly quit and criticized the Prime Minister, but did not leave caucus when she decided to quit. What we are also told is that while these questions were being asked, Jane Philpott was also reminded by some of her colleagues some of the sacrifices and compromises they made to help her with some of her projects, like getting that assisted dying legislation passed and working on those files. So the meeting went 30 minutes longer than it normally would go. It is described by sources as rough, uncomfortable and rocky. But we do know that Liberals that we were speaking with today, while these concerns may exist privately, this is a group of Liberals, Ontario MPs, that held this meeting. Other MPs and ministers we spoke to insist that everyone is a team. The Prime Minister was asked multiple times today about whether he's still comfortable with Jane Philpott and Jody Wilson-Raybould both remaining in caucus. And he said they've indicated they'd like to run again in 2019, and then they're welcome to do so. So all of this to say, all of these concerns and these private tensions are distracting the Prime Minister and knocking him off message in terms of a guy who's trying to get out there and try and sell his election year budget.
It's not surprising, though, I think, given, I think back to all the panels that we've done over the past few weeks when there was that outstanding question. I mean, there are tons of questions about who talks and when and the committees and everything, but this idea that two people who have essentially expressed that they're not confident in their party's leader, at least as with respect to this giant controversy and matter in front of them, still remain in caucus. And we were all thinking the past 2 weeks when they were home in their break week, like, how awkward is that first meeting going to be, right? And this really speaks to that, and the difficulties going forward. Absolutely.
And this is the first meeting that they've had of this nature since Jane Philpott had quit. I went and had to check the calendar. It's only been 2 weeks since that happened. It was 2 weeks ago on Monday.
Feels like 2 years.
Exactly. So there's been some news in Ottawa. I don't know if you're aware, but it's been a little busy. No, but
not aware at all.
Jane Philpott left Parliament Hill today, and she was walking she was leaving Parliament Hill. A number of reporters asked her some questions, and she didn't want to sit down, or she said, at another situation, I'd be happy to answer some questions. But we've reached out to her, and we haven't heard back from her just yet. But this
I love that you're checking to see if maybe she wrote back now.
My email did just pop up. No, but it sounds like this is a very uncomfortable meeting. And again, the source is describing it as rough, rocky, and again, uncomfortable.
More to come, I'm sure. Thank you, Katie. The CBC's Katie Simpson.